Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivara Hari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivara Hari Yasodhanandana Brajajanurandana Bhagavatam Yasodhanandana Brajajanurandana Yamunatira Vanachadi Yamunatira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivara Hari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivara Hari Yasodhanandana Brajajanandana Yasodhanandana Brajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachadi Yamunatira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jayo Vishupad Param Ahamsa Hari Vijakacharya Astatar Asata Srimad Divine Grace Isi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagvatam Ki Gaura Premanandi That's how you go. Trade secret. I know it. I noticed that many of the devotees have abundant chandan on your forehead. Not everybody, but many. You had a chandan festival or what? How did this happen? What's the procedure? Is it every Sunday? Huh? If you have a phone, you know what to do, right? Switch it into mode so this isn't going to happen. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 3, Chapter 12, Text number 3. Drishtva papiyasim shrishtim natmanam bhava amanyata bhagavadha jnana putena manasanyam tato srijat Drishtva papiyasim shrishtim natmanam bhavyamanyata bhagavatyana putrena manasanyam tato srijat Drishtva papiyasim shrishtim Wait, go ahead. Ladies. Drishtva, by seeing. Papiyasim, sinful. Shrishtim, creation. No, not. Atmanam, unto himself. Bahu, much pleasure. Amanyata, felt. Bhagavat, on the personality of Godhead. Jnana, meditation. Bhutena, purified by that. Manasa, by such a mentality. Anyam, another. Tataha, thereafter. Asrijat, created. Translation, seeing such a misleading creation as a sinful task, Brahma did not feel much pleasure in his activity, and therefore he purified himself by meditation on the personality of Godhead. Then began another term of creation, purport. Although he created the different influences of nations, Lord Brahma was not satisfied in performing such a thankless task. But he had to do it because most of the conditioned souls wanted it to be so. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15:15 that he is present in everyone's heart and is helping everyone to either remember or forget. The question may be raised, why the Lord, who is all merciful, helps one to remember and another to forget? Actually, his mercy is not exhibited in partiality towards one and enmity towards another. The living entity, as part and parcel of the Lord, is partially independent because he partially possesses all the qualities of the Lord. Anyone who has some independence may sometimes misuse it to ignorance. When the living entity prefers to misuse his independence and lie down towards nescience, the all-merciful Lord, first of all, tries to protect him from the trap, but when the living entity persists in gliding down to hell, the Lord helps him to forget his real position. The Lord helps the falling living entity glide down to the lowest point just to give him the chance to see if he is happy by misusing his independence. Almost all the conditioned souls who are rotting in the material world are misusing their independence, and therefore 5 kinds of nescience are imposed upon them. As an obedient servitor of the Lord, Brahma creates all these as a matter of necessity, but he's not happy in doing so because a devotee of the Lord naturally does not like to see anyone falling down from his real position. Persons who do not care for the path of realization get full facilities from the Lord for executing their proclivities to the fullest extent, and Brahma helps in that procedure without fail. I would like to post to Brahma. He's an intimate servitor. Intimate servitor. I should like to, here's the 5 from the previous, yesterday. Self-deception, sense of death, anger after frustration, sense of false ownership, and illusory bodily conception or forgetfulness of one's real identity. So there. Everything all right? Everything all right? In Singapore, you have Rath Yatra, right? Yes? Yes. There's some places in the world where they can't have Rath Yatra. Yes. But one time, I was attending a Rath Yatra in one city. And after the Rath Yatra festival, it takes place after the Rath. And somebody brought a Chinese lady. Her name was T. T-E, pronounced T. Introduced her, and she said, I have just one question. What's that? Why creation? And no, the quick response, because we wanted it. Because otherwise there's no need for creation. And with creation comes good and the bad. or the features of duality, day and night, winter, summer, pleasure, displeasure, or suffering, sukha and dukkha. It's this, the carrot is there for those who want carrots, and then what happens after the carrot is also part of the program. And the why is because we wanted it, but also the why is there because Krishna is reciprocating with what people want, but the purpose of reciprocating with what people want is to help them understand there's no happiness in that choice, that selection from the free will, set of free will choices. The allure, then that something is there. The something is ehi sam sparshaja bhoga. It's the anticipation of. This, as Buddhism teaches, it's desire. That's the happiness. And the perception is that's happiness. Whatever. But built into that happiness is misery. Part of the program. It's just part of the program. Part of the program. The whole world is pursuing it. Called ignorance. Two things. I haven't studied Buddhism, but I've studied Jiva Goswami. And some of you like Jiva Goswami. I like Jiva Goswami. And in his Tattva Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami teaches a few things about the foundational teaching of Buddhism, and it's connected with desire. That's what he wanted it. But Brahma doesn't want it. Brahma doesn't want to see people suffer. So, fill in the blank. The root cause, if you're Buddhist, you in trance? The root cause of suffering is, if you're Buddhist, the root cause of suffering is, not sure, desire. Now you know. The root cause of suffering is desire. How to become free from suffering? Become desireless. Next question. How do you become desireless? Two things. Live a life in goodness, non-violent, cleanliness, truthfulness. Frame your life in the quality of goodness. The second thing is be in the moment. Heard the phrase? Be in the moment. Mindfulness. In America, then those two phrases are common. Mindfulness. Mindfulness. Jiva Goswami takes it further and says, what is that mindfulness? Listen carefully. The phrase that Buddha uses, a Sanskrit phrase, is kshanak vijnanavad. We have an understanding of what vijnana means. There's jnana vijnana. Prabhupada's explanation is theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge, or realized knowledge, vijnana. Jnana vijnana. The way that Buddha uses it is consciousness. Vijnana. And Vada means doctrine. The doctrine of consciousness is momentary. Kshanak, calculation of time by the atom, it gives the divisions of time. And Kshanak is one of those divisions of time, and it's less than a second, fraction of a second, or the blink of an eye. Kshanak, how long does it take for your eye to blink? One Kshanak. So Kshanak Vijnanavad is a doctrine that says that consciousness is momentary. So my dear Buddhist student, practice being in the moment, because that's all there is. In fact, there isn't even the moment, but that comes next. So be in the moment, be in the moment, be in the moment. Live your life in goodness, be in the moment, be in the moment, be in the moment. Where's that train going? Answer. You go beyond the moment. What's that? Nirvana. What's nirvana? Answer. Cessation of material existence. Because material existence is, there's no such thing as consciousness. It's just moment to moment to moment to moment. The previous moment is gone. The one that hasn't happened doesn't exist. If you're going to be a successful Buddha, you only can become desireless. Those two things. Become really good at mindfulness, being in the moment to get on the other side of the moment. Nirvana, bell rings. You're enlightened. Nirvana, their definition is not ours. Their definition is cessation of material existence. Nirvana, forest of material existence. Beyond the forest of material existence is nirvana, or void. Desire doesn't exist anymore. Material existence is resting upon desire. Material existence is suffering. It's not real. It just doesn't exist, and for that matter, you don't exist either. The reality is nothingness. Welcome to the realm of nothingness. Now, Vaishnavas don't teach that same, the root cause of suffering is desire. Desire isn't the problem, because desire is of the soul. Right? I mean, how do you become desireless? You can't get a dagger and stab the soul and it just stops desiring. It's like the three states of consciousness. Three states of consciousness. Awake, sleep, and deep sleep. And the consciousness of the soul is beyond those three. Deep sleep is like being under anesthesia, where you're not feeling anything. They cut you open, you do surgery when you're under anesthesia. They do medical procedures when you're anesthetized. And then what happens when the anesthesia wears off? You feel pain from the surgery. And what happens when you're a Buddhist and you stop being in the moment or beyond the moment? You desire again. It's the default position, because that's who we are. So the Vaishnava understanding from the Vedas is the root cause of suffering is fill in the blank. Ignorance. Root cause of suffering is ignorance. Ignorance induces ignorant desire, induces ignorant activity, induces suffering. The root cause is not desire. It's how you direct the desire. An ignorant desire leads to ignorant activity, leads to suffering. Solution? Mode of goodness, and become situated in knowledge. So just like yesterday evening, some of you were here, maybe all of you were here yesterday, that this emphasis on Jnana Yagya, 9:15, Jnana Yagya, bhakti mixed with jnana, that's their target. Just, it's a less than complete or less than direct method. But it's knowledge removes ignorance. Light removes darkness. Yes? Light removes darkness. Knowledge removes ignorance. So the knowledge is not cosmetic, is the knowledge that arises from bhakti. Because then there's a resting place. Knowledge that doesn't arise from bhakti, what's its resting place? In time, that knowledge can disappear. But when bhakti is there, knowledge doesn't arise, knowledge doesn't disappear. By material cause or, being, a very austere person and study and so forth. So bhakti is of the soul. Desire is of the soul. Desire properly directed, not nice, but beyond nice. Transcendental. We have a scholar here, of the Bhagavatam scholar, where the verse, what's the verse in Canto 1, Chapter 2, where it is stated that from devotional service, causelessly knowledge and detachment arise. Raise your hand, don't just blurt it out. I see, way in the back. Let's hear. Loud. Ahaitukam. Ahaitukam. Hetu means cause, and ahetu means without a cause. Knowledge and detachment arise causelessly when there's Vasudeva Bhakti, devotional service and devotion. It doesn't require what we read last night. It doesn't mean you don't read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagvatam, but the reading of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagvatam is meant to give rise to bhakti. When you're reading properly, that's what happens. When you're not reading properly, you become a Jnana Yagena fellow. You want knowledge rather than bhakti. And that's a lot of people. Want knowledge rather than bhakti. But if one aspires, in the essence of bhakti is that Krishna should be pleased. When that Krishna should be pleased consciousness awakens, knowledge and detachment awaken. And the suffering is gone because it's a stable position, because there's real shelter. Now let's go back to the Bhagavatam verses, chapter 12. There are 10 topics in the Bhagavatam. And there are 10 topics in the Bhagavatam are mentioned in 2 places in the Bhagavatam. And two of those 10, Sarga and Visarga. Sarga is what Vishnu does, Visarga is what Brahma does. And here the word is used, Srishti. Srishti, Sthiti, Palaya, Sadhana, Shakti. So Srishti means creation. Sthiti means maintenance. Palaya, destruction. And there's cycles of it. It's moving. Matter moves by the force of time. So if you're a Buddhist, just go beyond time. You go beyond the moment. And if you're a Vaishnava, you connect with Krishna and automatically you're in transcendence where time isn't creating and destroying. But if you're in this world, time creates and time destroys. And then from the personality of Godhead, Vishnu, a plenary expansion of the original personality of Godhead, Krishna, Vishnu, in cycles of time, creates and then maintains and then withdraws, and then there's a resting period, and then again. So this is Brahma at the beginning.